Biden obviously has been trying to flip the script on this narrative for the last couple of months. He has had numerous gaffes over the course of the last couple of months, which of course Joe Biden has always been gaffe prone, and we do know that he suffered from a stutter as well when he was younger. But his supporters have been trying to get him to be more fiery and be more verbal, and that is exactly what we saw at the State of the Union speech on Thursday night. We saw a much more agile Biden. He was there, he was taking comments that were given to him, heckles by the Republican side, and pushing back against them. At one point, somebody mentioned something about he was talking about the border, and one of the Republicans pushed back, and he said that the bill that he's put forward to Congress is the toughest border bill in decades. And he said, you can read the facts for yourselves. I know you can read. He had various quips against the Republicans that got a lot of applause from the Democrats on their side of the chamber. So I think Joe Biden's speechwriters tonight will be very pleased with his performance. They'll say that he was a much more agile and much more virile speech giver today, much more in the vein similar to what we saw in the wake of that special counsel report that got released just a couple of weeks ago. So Democrats here and Joe Biden's advisors trying to let Biden be Biden. Whether that moves the needle at all remains to be seen.
Now, getting back into the substance, can you tell us about a few of the key takeaways?
Yeah, like I said, it was a very fiery speech from Joe Biden. He took several swipes at Republicans for their tax policies, their lack of action on Ukraine aid, the lack of action on the border as well. And he made several references to Donald Trump, albeit not by name, just simply saying my predecessor. There was a significant amount of domestic issues that were covered, including the cost of prescription medication, as well as the economy, things that he wants to put forward for a second term. He also reflected on some of his achievements from his first term, notably infrastructure acts and manufacturing here in the United States. And one of the main things that he spoke about was gun control and then reproductive rights. That has been a real lightning rod issue here in the United States. Now, he said that he was vowing to restore Roe v. Wade, which was the federal protections on abortion here in the U.S. He said clearly those bragging about overturning Roe v. Wade have no clue about the power of women in America. But they found out when reproductive freedom was on the ballot and won in 2022, 23, and they will find out again in 2024. That was met with rapturous applause from the Democrats. He moved on to the border when, again, talking about the inaction from the Republicans that had been scrapped under the pressure of Donald Trump. That got a heckle from Marjorie Taylor Greene, one of the right-wing politicians, part of the House Freedom Caucus. And he moved on then to foreign policy as well. Of course, we were anticipating that announcement about the aid to Gaza, which was basically they're building a floating pier off the coast of Gaza so they can get more aid into the strip. And he also mentioned Ukraine. That was a big part of his speech. His guest of honor was the Swedish Prime Minister. Of course, Sweden just becoming the latest member of NATO on Thursday. So a very poignant moment that was as well. He said it wasn't that long ago that a Republican president, Ronald Reagan, thundered, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. Now, my predecessor, a former Republican president, tells Putin, do whatever the hell you want. A former American president actually said that, bowing down to a Russian leader. He then finished, it's outrageous, it's dangerous, it's unacceptable. So Joe Biden trying to lay the difference here between Donald Trump and himself as he puts forward his pitch for another 4 years in the White House.